Welcome to Feisty Chess. Got a Lee Chess game, 10-5 game against Dromodu, Dr. Omodu. Okay. Trying some wacky stuff out lately. I'm going to go with the Patzer Attack, as it's called. It's sort of been in vogue in the last year or so. It's not as bad as it seems. For instance, Black is going with some kind of gambit here. I can grab here. I don't know all these lines as well as I should, but I'm up a pawn here. And he's going to let me trade off the queens. I will gladly do that. Do I want to do that by just protecting my own queen? Probably. No, then I'll lose my pawn. Let's go ahead and take. And then we don't need to get too ambitious. I think d3 is a good way to proceed. Just got an extra pawn and queens are off the board. Okay. Knight c6 in response to queen h5. Knight c6 is typically a better way to proceed. Okay, just take those. I'm going to plan bishop d2 after this. We don't need to be ambitious here. Just try to trade off Black's best piece. We'll recapture with the bishop. Okay. We should castle queenside here. Got a3 coming. Bishop f6, maybe just knight g to e2. Okay, I think his knight's gonna be kind of silly on a6 here. I'm happy about that. It's either Dromodu or Dr. Omodu. Provisional rating for this player. Okay, knight a6. I don't see anything else that makes sense. After that, I think knight f3 works. Okay. This can't work, can it? I've always got knight to b1. Yeah, I don't see this working. Got knight b1. Up a whole piece. Okay. He's got ideas of maybe bishop f6. Maybe I just start going after his pawns with bishop f4 here. It also allows me to get my king out. Knight f3, and then if bishop f6, I've got bishop. Okay, another plan he might have is bishop e6. Oh, I've picked a 15-10 game instead of a 10-5. Well, extra time for thinking here. So bishop e6 is an idea that black has. Planning this. At which point my knight is lost. I can meet that with this, but then bishop f6 becomes tricky. I can get a knight to d2. The plan starts with either of these moves. I need to get the knight here, and then ultimately there. So I can really store up g1. Let's count the moves here. If bishop here, bishop there, knight here, and yeah, bishop b1, sorry, bishop a2, sorry about that, and then the knight's just in time. And I still got a bishop on. Does the bishop want to be on f4? Not sure. I think knight f3 is the most flexible move here. I don't know where the bishop goes exactly. Maybe the bishop comes. No, it's got to stay on this diagonal. Okay. Bishop e3 looks a little safer, doesn't it? I think so. Yeah, and then that supports supports d5 if necessary. Bishop e3 or bishop f4 now, and the problem is bishop g5 is an idea, but then he just takes, and after I take, he's winning that knight back. I don't want a knight. I want to be able to capture a knight if he lands on b4, so I'm going to go bishop e3. You probably should go bishop a1, a2. I need to keep my pawn on b2. These bishop f6 lines. Extra piece could be tied down for a while. But he should force this knight to d2, I think, by playing bishop a2. Yep. Okay. My knights are tied up, but so is his rook in the corner. Maybe I can get something going on the king side now. Or at least activate. I just got to activate my bishop and rook there. h4 looks like a good start. If I could get these pawns up here, I could get a bishop to d3. Okay, he's looking to trap my bishop. Let's take e5 away from that knight. Bishop f6 actually runs into bishop c5 right now. Although I don't think that's a big deal. He's got that knight there. I need to activate this bishop and maybe put pressure on that c6 knight. Actually, g4 might be a better way to do that than g3. Okay, let's move the bishop out of danger. Black's trying a lot of tricks. I suppose that's what you need to do when you're down a piece. The reason I don't want to move this pawn is because he'll get his bishop here and ultimately there, at which point I'm going to lose one of those knights. This knight is pinned and can't defend the other one, and if this one goes and I recapture, then this knight's gone. Okay. This makes sense now. Pretty solid. I'm looking for bishop g2. If he goes bishop here, I can just play rook g1. I'm safe. Yeah, I think e3 was definitely the right square for my bishop a while back. Okay, looks like that's our only choice, and it's a good one. Now there's less pressure on my knight. And this knight also guards f3 for the time being, which is nice. I am a little bit concerned about a rook getting to e2. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit concerned about that. So maybe now rook e1 is good. Problem is takes, and then bishop c5. Ooh, if I play c4, he can't push he can't push b3. He's not actually threatening to win anything here because when I recapture, it'll be with check. And even if he wins a pawn, if it frees my position up, I'll gladly pay that price. Okay, push here, taking on passant, and then takes. But yeah, he's got bishop check. Doesn't look pleasant. After bishop check, though, then rook check. Yeah, that's no good. I don't like the look of that. Okay, bishop here. Let's look at this. You can't go rook e2 immediately because I've just got bishop takes with check. So let's see the exchange. Take. Light square bishops are off. But then he gets his rook to here. And that might be a problem. I've got rook e1. And I'm okay because there's no bishop here anymore. And rook will guard things. Okay. I'm going for this. I'm assuming he takes, and I'll need to recapture. And if he goes for take, rook e2, and I've got rook e1. And I should be okay, because if rook takes knight, I've got king takes, and everything's defended, except for this rook, which isn't relevant. Yeah, he's making pressuring moves, but maybe sometimes it's better to play a little more subtly. In other words, to play with the intent of not necessarily making the strongest threats at the time, but of making threats that are more circumspect, I guess. More, what am I trying to say? More subtle. So, it's a trappy way to play. It's often the best way to play, not always. I just noticed I had an alternative here. Going back and move, I had knight c4. Really gets me out of a lot of this pressure. Actually doesn't threaten to take this bishop. immediately, but I'm not sure that would have been worthwhile. This is probably what I've done is probably the better way to deal with that light square bishop. Okay. And rook e2 is probably what's coming. Now my knight on b1 is a lot safer. Okay, this also shouldn't work. This is a check. And I'll have time to play... Yeah. I'll just defend this. Now I'm also guarding e2. He could get to e3, or he can try to go for that pin. But now I get the e-file. My bishop is a happy big pawn there. I'll probably take the e-file. I've still got knight c4 coming, so that's a good idea in the long term. I think I'll go with e3, and then I still have the chance of doubling up on the e-file. Am I missing anything important here? I don't think so. I think I'm good. I don't see anything. He really wants to pressure that pawn. Watch out for this. Take, and then if take, there's an immediate mate. That's pretty. With that knight on d4. Well, I could just guard the pawn. It doesn't look like black can really apply any more pressure. Better than that might just be this. And I'm threatening to get my rooks going against him. If he should take the pawn with his bishop, that will leave e7 open for checks. I don't like the idea of the bishop or rook being able to come down here. Let's just defend the pawn again. He can hit it a third time, I suppose, with knight. I didn't see that. I've got knight here. Knight to b3. If that knight moves, I got knight b3. And my army is coming alive. I also always have h3 here. So I think I'm getting out of the mess. Okay, the knight comes back there. Interesting. Don't know the plans for that knight, but let's turn chat room off. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that rook on a1. Oh, misclick. He says it's a misclick. I have things set up for takebacks. Apparently not. It's a bummer. I think he's. I think Black's lost anyway here. I don't know how else he makes progress. Okay, we can get this knight in the game as well. Planning king b1. He says good game. Let's get king b1 in. And now h3. Okay, I will just take that bishop and then grab the rook. Okay, I think Black was lost anyway, and I have plenty of time to think this stuff through. He's gonna keep playing. Going for some exchanges on d5 here. Now we got a check on e7 possibly. Okay, let's make that check. Probably go to d2. And we can defend the second rank. Some ideas like this look pretty good. Mm. I'm gonna give up that pawn. I think you have a pretty good mating attack. He can't defend here because I got this fork. So he goes for it. Let's jump in with the check. Can simplify with this fork immediately. No, actually that drops me a rook. So careful of that. Okay. Jump in with both feet. Now I've got that fork. But actually I think I've got better. I think this mates. Oh, this is actually really cool if it does mate. I think it does. I get both rooks over here. He'll go rook h6. Oh, it won't mate. It'll just win an exchange if he plays king takes here. Let's see, what about rook takes? Let's just play it like this. King takes bishop is the only way out of that mate. It gives up an exchange. Yep. Oh, he's giving up the knight too. Okay, I think we can mate him pretty quick here. Okay. Oh, played it out. All right, interesting game. One of those games where I had to defend for quite a while with my extra piece, and it's not always that easy. I think my opponent did a pretty good job of making it tough on me. There were mistakes I could have made. Let's look at it really quick, since that took a while. Okay, the Patzer Attack. Not promising white a huge advantage, but also not super easy to refute. So I think psychologically, a lot of people are insulted when you play Queen H5. You think I'm going to let you have the scholars mate on me, you know? And they'll often lash out. I've been played when I met this in the past. I've played knight f6, not realizing I was dropping a pawn. I was just like, let's attack that queen. That may have been true for my opponent here. But the main stuff goes knight c6, and then we threaten the mate on f7, kick the queen away, threaten the mate from here, and knight f6 is the main move. And then white has to put his knight here to keep this knight at a d4. And yeah, lots of lines, and there's actually lots of dangers for black to fall into, even if he dodges the obvious mates here. And it gives rise to positions that are sort of unique. So here we just got an extra pawn. So I think black lashed out and tried to play a little too dangerously here with a4. Now, even if I lose the piece again, I'm still up a pawn here. I could have also just developed a knight and then let him take. Continue developing my pieces, and then if he takes, this check doesn't do much. My king now has an escape square on d2, and critically my knight guards this checking square the bishop has. I got greedy. I wanted to hang on to the material. I saw that I could actually get my other knight to defend just in time. So it was a little bit awkward here, but there's no queens on the board, and eventually black just kind of ran out of resources, ran out of threats. This is a nice little threat. I don't know, it seemed like he was threatening something. I just played it safe. I think I was concerned about bishop c5 irrationally. I could just take that bishop, obviously, and save my own. Okay. I'm not sure about g5 here, but again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this bishop move. I mean, he has to keep the pressure here because he doesn't have much else. I really think this bishop belongs on f6. Now he's got another piece exerting pressure over here. This becomes really difficult for me to untangle this knot. You could even come up with ideas like bishop here, and if I take, he recaptures, he gains a pawn, and then he's hitting this knight, and this knight has to move, so I'm losing this other knight, right? So knight here, and then this comes with check. The king has to move. Actually, that's a mate with that pawn on c3. So yeah, there's all sorts of trouble to be made, and I'm not saying that this is completely busted for black, for white, or anything. There's a lot more trouble to be made in this line than with the bishop trying to put pressure on f4 from d6, as it happened in the game. I'd probably need to play here, and probably is no good for him to try to swap rooks. Actually, now he's got some good threats. Yeah, I don't know how to respond to all this. I might need to give up an exchange. I don't know if I can actually. So anyway, what move do I play here? What do I do? The thing is, he's planning take, and then I take with a knight, and now this. I guess I go bishop e2 just to get my bishop going. Let's play this out. Take, take. Now the other rook comes in. I have no way of defending b2. Furthermore, once b2 falls, I'm losing that knight. I'm losing that piece I've gained. Let's check the computer evaluation here. Really likes white. Okay, what am I missing? d4? d4 kind of shuts things down. Oh, if he takes with the knight, I have bishop here. Oof, d4 actually threatens because it's king position. So maybe he doesn't go for this immediately. Computer still likes white, but computers can be often materialistic, and without looking too deep, they can come up with problems. So let's say he just gets his king to safety. Bishop f3. take here. How's there a way to stop this? Oh, there's a mate. There's rook e8 mate. So, okay. Maybe black has some king safety problems of his own. Alright. Game, though, went like this. And I was worried about the rook coming into e2. Actually, there's less to worry about now that the white square bishop is no longer putting pressure on this knight, so things are a lot more solid than they seem. And I can go rook here. Yeah, and he has nothing better than to take. And he doesn't have enough pieces to really do much damage to me over here. I'm gonna grab the e file, and I'm gonna play bishop f2. Maybe get my rook back on the home rank. Undo this pin somehow. It may take a while, but I'll have time. So that wasn't anything to worry about. There was something else to look at here. Oh, knight f3. That's one way to stop. Knight f3 is interesting. Stops this, and it also sets a trap. I'm winning an exchange. Okay. King b1. Oh, knight takes a5. I missed knight takes a5. Oh my gosh, his rook just planted himself on that square. I was just single-mindedly trying to consolidate things here. I could have taken the... Okay, well this works just as well. This worked even better for me. That's over at this point. Let's go back to knight c6. Yeah, a lot of pressure on my position here. Amount of pressure. Maybe he was intending to go knight e6. Makes more sense. That puts more pressure here. And knight b3. Rook a6 is the safest place for that. And just get my knights out. I'm not worried about this extra pawn. He can take the pawn. Because I'm up a piece for it. Takes, huh? Ha! Rook g3 is a tactical idea. I go here on rook g3 and we just trade rooks. Yeah, this nice sequence. I'm still up at knight. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's the game. Of course, we got to interesting little mate scenario. Here's the mate. He takes this rook. That's a nice little checkmate. Kind of pretty. Queen checkmate too. Or if he tries to push this pawn to get himself an escape square, it doesn't really because the knight covers it. It's just mate on h6 then. Okay. So here's how it ended, and I found a mate a few moves later. Alrighty. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay feisty, and we'll see you next time.